Hello, this is Manesh Patel from IchimokuTrade.com. Today is March 11th, 2014. This is a bi-weekly Ichimoku analysis for all the futures market, where we cover everything from commodity futures to oil, heating oils, cotton, sugar, bonds, dollar index, and so forth. Okay, oops, it came out of slide. Normal procedures. This is our normal disclaimer to state this is for education use only. We're not soliciting to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, you're doing that at your own risk. All the charts you're going to see are pretty much from TradeStation. Okay, here are our contact details here. You can call us at any of our office locations here, or you can email us here at info@eiicapital.com, or you could actually go to our website here, access any of our free videos we have out there, access our heat map, multiple time frame email alerts, and various other resources that we have available for traders. Okay, so normal procedure, let's go straight to TradeStation here. Okay. Okay, so if you remember, on the left hand side is basically the daily time frame, on the right hand side is basically the weekly time frame. So let's first start off with commodity futures here. Let's go for soybeans. If you look at soybeans here, we talked about this being bullish trending here. Last couple of weeks it broke the resistance at 1370. It then broke the next resistance we had laid out at 1427, went a little above 1440, and pretty much moved up from there. And if you look from here, the next resistance level, there is none. It's pretty much at all-time high here. Now the thing is, was this a bleep above the resistance games being played? So this is where we got to wait and see what happens. The support level that has to be held is about 1347.8. That's the major support level that has to be held here. The minor support level that has to be held in order for this to continue to go up is for soybeans. It's got to be 1392. Next is soybean oil. If you look at soybean oil, it has a nice trending bearish trend here. Finally sat there and gone for a pullback. This is now undergoing a major pullback. Now the support on this one is going to be around 41.34. If it gets to 31.34, that's going to be the true test to see what type of pullback this is going to be. If it's going to be a major pullback or if it's going to be a minor pullback. But right now we got to wait for a pullback to happen to about 41.34, and then see exactly what happens after that point. If it could sit there and breaks that, then this is going to retest the low and have the high probability to continue to go down. If it holds here and then comes back and goes through the cloud, then basically we got a major pullback that's finally underway. So that level, we have to wait to see what happens at that level. Soybean meal is continuing its journey upwards. This was a nice bullish trend towards the middle of last year. It's continuing to pretty much move this year and still very, very strong going up. Support on this guy is about 432. It's unfortunate a lot of people are not looking at it, but it is moving up nicely. Corn right here was a nice bearish trend here. There's a little shakeout that occurred here, and now finally sit there and it looks like it's trying to undergo a major pullback, so we have to wait and see what happens. 461 and 2/8 is basically the major support level. The resistance is going to be way up there, roughly around about 522. Wheat here is a bearish trend here. Notice a lot of commodity futures are pretty much bearish trending, and now they've had a pullback. The first major pullback is finally starting to occur now. Next is going to be oats. If you look at oats, this is still continuing its journey on both the daily and weekly to be bullish. Support level on this guy is going to be about 413 and 6/8. Resistance, which it got to already, it could retest the high, is going to be about 482. Next is going to be cocoa. Cocoa is still continuing its journey to the upside. It's now just getting to a resistance level we've already laid out at 30 and 19. So we want to see exactly what's going to happen here to see if it's going to break it to get to about 3100, or basically it's going to stop there and start pulling back. The major pullback level, support level, is going to be 28 to 21. That has to hold in order for this to still continue to go up and not go for a major pullback. Coffee, which is the most interesting one here. Coffee was a nice bearish trend here in 2013, and if you guys looked at our institutional report we put out at the beginning of the year, we talked about coffee going for its first major pullback, which was an upward movement. Well, it did its upward movement, but it actually broke through two major resistance levels, which was 140 and 174. So it's gone up drastically up here to a point. Looks like no longer a major pullback here. This looks like it's trying to do a full-blown trend reversal right now. So this is one that definitely very interesting to see. If you look at the next resistance level you pretty much have gotten to this one. The next resistance level you have is going to be here at 211. Is going to be the next resistance level you're going to see on this guy for coffee. Support on this one's going to be 192.65 is the minor one. 168.08 is going to be the major support level. OJ here, if you look at OJ here, this is really not doing anything except consolidating. It got to the top of the range right now, which is about 154/155, so it's done that. We got to see it sit there and take off with vengeance. If it does, then it'll start a bullish trend, but we've seen a lot of hiccups with orange juice where it goes up and then goes down, so you don't want to get caught up in that wash at all, so you want to be patient and see what happens with it. Rough rice, not really anything going on except consolidating between 15.20 and 15.815. The probabilities are, believe it or not, to the bearish side. So there are high probabilities, believe it or not, of it breaking 15.20 at this round turn right now, and then sitting there going down and possibly by the end of 2014 come down here to retest the low. But we have to see exactly if those probabilities do play out to chart setups. Next is sugar. If you look at sugar, sugar is bearish trending, but it's an ugly bearish trend, believe it or not, where it's slowly going down. It probably looks cleaner on the monthly than on the weekly right now, but this is slowly going down. The resistance it's hit is, which it's at right now, is roughly around 18. Support on this one's going to be about 16. Next, we're going to start covering energy type of futures. First one's going to be crude oil. If you look at crude oil, it got to a resistance level at 103.55, and now it's come all the way down today to our major support level of 99.55. This is going to be a true test what's going to happen here. There is a possibility it could still also go down to another support level of 98.23, but we got to wait and see exactly what happens here. If it could hold this 99.55 level and then start making a move to break the resistances at 158 and 102, then we do have a possibility of retesting the high and possibly breaking it to even get up to here, the 110 levels, 112 levels. So we gotta wait and see what happens there. Natural gas here, remember we talked about this in our institutional report in 2014 being bullish. This has been really great trade where here it came out of the cloud, came here, held the support right here at the beginning of the year at 3.021 and pretty much has taken off to be a nice bullish trend going up. This is holding its major support, which is at 4.073, and it's all minor support at 4.394 right now. As long as it holds these supports, it does have a high probability of getting to 5.5 and even possibly breaking it this year. So we're definitely looking for natural gas still to be bullish. Heating oil here, as you can see, it broke out of it's trending on both the daily time frame, but on the weekly time frame you can see here this is just one ugly consolidation pattern which has multiple different resistance levels. So it broke the first resistance level at 2.9619 and now just got to the top of the consolidation pattern, which is 3.0773. So this thing is just ranging between the consolidation patterns, so it's great for a day trader but not long term. Support's going to be on this one's 2.8832 and 2.8206. Gasoline, really not doing anything. This is one boring instrument. Support on this one's going to be 2.8616. Minor support slash resistance is about 3 on this one, and then 3.100 is a major resistance, but nothing really to talk about there. A lot of people are talking about cotton. I'm not sure why. This thing is doing nothing at all except consolidating, and it's an ugly consolidation pattern. If we zoom in here, you could see exactly what it's doing. It's just going from the bottom of the consolidation pattern, which is 80, to trying to get to the top, which is 96. We got our minor supports now at 90.31 and 86.96. So we do have a high probability going all the way up to about 95. But be very careful because sometimes this thing does fall short of getting to these major resistances, just like here. So you got to make sure you stick to low risk type of trade scenarios for cotton, because it can't sit there and jerk you one way and jerk you another way too. On currency side, here's the dollar index here. Let's just shrink. I'm not sure what people are seeing here. To me, this just looks like one big mess. Where the major support is 79. The resistance on this guy is going to be about 80.62. But there's nothing there at all as far as the trend is concerned. Livestock, this is one interesting one. It held a support at 168.99. It pretty much got and broke the resistance at 173.74. So this basically is now moving up, 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 and proceeding to move up. Now, if you look at this, this is a bullish trend here, but it's not a major bullish trend there, because if you zoom out, you can see it's one ugly little pattern where basically consolidating between 150 and 190, which is a huge range. But we're at a minor resistance level right now, so we got to see exactly what happens there. Live cattle, this is a big one. A lot of people look at this seasonally, and you can see for 2013 that this thing just is broke. Sorry, 2014, this thing has just broken out, broke the resistance at 136, and broken all the way up to about 145, and pretty much stabilizing there. But this is pretty much one big consolidation pattern between 126 and 146, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens at this resistance level now. Lean hogs, also very much broken out here, and you can see making all highs here. We zoom out, you can see that it's actually coming up to these resistance levels up here. Let's mark off some now so see exactly where this thing can end. And if you look here, where this is, we're at one resistance level here, the next one is going to be about 124.49. But you could see from here that this is bullish trending right now, but these moves have been huge off the bottom, and that pretty much has been that for all the livestock. So 2000 in March specifically, beginning of March and beginning of middle to February, a lot of the livestock have pretty much taken off and had huge movement up during this period. Next are going to be 2 years. 2-year treasury notes. If you look at it, not really doing anything. Hit a major resistance of 110 that we've marked off before, bounced off there, and got to a major support, which we're sitting on right now. Next major support will be 109.23, but this really is not doing anything, really not breaking out. It looks like a minor bullish trend, but not a major one at all. Next one, you're looking at 5-year treasury notes. This is not doing anything at all. This is in fact very boring to even look at. Its support is 118.09, resistance is 120.02. Next, you have your treasury 10 years. This is not really doing anything either. Let's just skip that one. 30-year, this is boring too, really not doing anything. Support on this one's going to be about 134 and 432s. Resistance on this guy is going to be about 134 and 232s. Let's go over to metals and see if they're more exciting. Platinum here just looks like one big mess. Support it's held, it's about 1384. Broke for resistance at 1437, which is now support. Next resistance is about 1528. Gold here pretty much has held the bottom here around 1200, and it's pretty much sitting there breaking resistances up, up, up. But you've noticed it's still not in the clouds, so the sentiment is still bearish. It got to a major resistance level of 1353, which we've mapped out for the last couple of weeks. Now it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens there. It may sit there intraday, bounce to 1400, and then come back down, but we got to wait and see what happens there. Silver is the next one. You can see silver's not much as bullish as gold is right now, but you could see here it's trying to set up to go bullish, but support on this one's going to be about 20.32. Resistance is going to be 21.95. And lastly, we've been hearing a lot about copper in the news today and how copper's tanking. Well, I don't know if this looks like a tank to me, but because it still has not broken a support. This right here is pretty much gotten here to the major support, which is the bottom of this huge consolidation pattern, and pretty much that's where we're at. This is a weekly time frame, so you can't really say this has broken it at all, because we could sit there by Friday, come up and sit there and hold it. But this is just all this is at the bottom of the consolidation pattern. So I'm not sure why everyone's thinking copper is trending down. It does look like that on a daily time frame because of a sudden move here, but we're just basically trending down to a support, and we got to wait and see what happens in the next couple of weeks to be able to determine anything about copper at all. That's it for this week. Just to summarize, if you look at a lot of the commodity futures, they've been bearish trending. They're finally going for a bullish pullback that's going through right now. Coffee, as we talked about at the beginning of the year, along with natural gas. Coffee was bearish trending last year. We talked about it undergoing a major pullback up, which it's pretty much doing now. And then you also have natural gas, which is still bullish trending going up. So those are the major movers right now, which has a lot of the momentum. Everything else right now is not really moving too much. It's pretty much consolidating or just sitting there being idle. That's it for this week for the futures market. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Let's move in.